The cryptocurrency and NFT spaces have been on an incredible rise lately, at least in awareness. Since GameStop Gate, followed by Doge Mania and the SHIB Army over the last year, more and more of what you might call normies have joined the ranks of would-be investors, getting more and more involved in the space overall. But, and this is especially true of NFTs, many don't realize what the heck they're doing. This is why I'm going to explain to you how to avoid the mistakes I made with NFTs, so that you don't have to. Ideally, this is going to save you a lot of stress, a lot of time, and a lot of money. What are the mistakes I made that you could avoid? How did I learn from them, and what can you do to ensure that you don't repeat them? Well, I'm going to humbly explain these things and many other things to you as well in this video, so don't you go anywhere. And as usual, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and make sure you ring that bell for notifications so that you never miss out on any useful piece of news, info, or rumors that I can bring to you. They're bound to help you save some money. Now, I do have to tell you that I'm not a financial advisor, and there's always a measure of risk involved with any investment that you could possibly make. So remember to do the right research and be vigilant with your own money. Having said all of that though, and if you're finished subscribing, then let's go ahead and get right into it. First up, high gas prices. The first big mistake that you're going to want to avoid is simply not understanding what gas fees are and how to avoid them. Now, I made this mistake several times at the beginning of my involvement with the cryptocurrency space, and you should absolutely never pay these kind of gas fees. Ethereum is the most versatile blockchain in the world and hosts all sorts of decentralized apps, or dApps, services and features, but almost all of them suffer from the ridiculously high gas fees on the network. A lot of people, when they start buying NFTs, don't realize that the gas prices actually cost more than the NFTs themselves in many cases. Now, you're probably expecting that I'm going to say that I dodged a bullet by not buying NFTs because of the gas fees. Well, actually no. I should have bought the NFT that I was going to buy because I actually could have made myself a buttload of money. But the lesson here is to do your own research and never buy an NFT with high gas prices unless you're absolutely sure that it's worth it. Now, one of the best ways to learn about gas fees and make this call yourself is to head on over to etherscan.io/gas tracker. This site is specifically designed to give you that information, i.e. the GWE, which is basically the range of gas prices that are applicable to any transaction, versus the speed that the transaction will happen. Using this, you can decide the best time to buy, mint, or sell an NFT, or just simply trade crypto using the ERC20 blockchain. A good low gas fee is basically anything under 100 GWE, and so if you're going to go in and buy or mint an NFT or do any other activity, make sure that you have a good knowledge of the gas fees, maybe even set yourself a mental limit of what you're actually willing to pay so that you don't get shafted. If you're able to do it, spend some time and get to know the NFT project that you're interested in. Find their Discord server and join it, then interact with the team behind it and the community at large. Then you stand the best chance at making it onto the NFT whitelist, which will give you access to the pre-sale of the tokens before they go live. This is another huge way for you to avoid having to pay exorbitant gas fees. Even though Ethereum 2.0 aims to considerably drop the gas prices permanently, thanks to removing the proof-of-work mining model and replacing it with proof-of-stake, you're still looking at a few months before that happens. So if it absolutely has to be today, you should make sure that you're aware of how much you're really going to have to pay, and you can trust me on that one. Scams. Of course, the next thing that you need to be aware of are scams. I know, it sounds scary, but it has to be something you'd expect. There has been a mad influx of new investors, some of whom are about as knowledgeable as your grandma was about video games when the Nintendo Wii came out. She thinks she's doing a good thing when she buys you Game Part 258 instead of Zelda, but oh dear grandma, no. The space has a big problem with scammers at the moment, with people impersonating other people to get money to fund their NFT projects and then just take the money and running. Of course they are. Whenever something goes from being a bit niche, a little esoteric, to being full-blown public knowledge, it's only a matter of time until someone comes along with an aptitude for turning ideas into scams. As with everything else I tell you to do or not to do, be vigilant, investors. This is your money we're talking about here. Double-check everything. You wouldn't click a link in an email from Prince Lorenzo of Cryptopia, so double-check it when someone asks you to fund their project. It can be very easy for a scammer to impersonate someone else, and in the old days, Twitter used to use the blue check marks to ensure that accounts were valid, though these days, it's more of a "do you agree with Twitter politically" thing, so you can't really rely on that anymore either. I think it's pretty obvious here, guys, but if you're getting DMs from someone who's asking you for money, that's a scammer. If someone is offering you opportunities and they're asking for you to send them your credentials or wallet information before they've even had a proper chat with you or a Zoom call, then that is also a scammer. Never ever send any money to someone whom you cannot personally verify is the person that they claim to be. And never send any money to someone you haven't researched. Thankfully, NFTs are actually helping with this, as you can now add NFTs as your profile picture on Twitter, which goes a long way towards making sure people are aware it's really you. Just look for that hexagonal frame, people. The next tip: avoid the hype. This one should be obvious, as everyone has been disappointed by an overly hyped movie, video game, basically anything. Often these days, the more hype something has, the more of a letdown it's going to be. Now, if you're interested in doing a quick NFT flip, then you could probably disregard this piece of advice, as you are one of the people capitalizing off the hype that others have for the project. If you're looking for a serious long-term investment though, you need to be aware that the biggest thing that you're going to have to consider when it comes to price is the hype. Now, if you're looking to buy or to mint at the moment, then you need to get in deeper than just the surface level hype. Once again, get into the community. Most of these NFT projects borrow from platforms like Patreon, GoFundMe, and Kickstarter and have tiered rewards. These can come in crypto rewards, extra NFTs, all kinds of perks for minting and holding a token from an NFT collection. That's the beauty of NFTs. Now, if you're going to get involved, you need to see if the value points and perks are going to keep your token valuable for longer than a couple of weeks, because if not, it's very unlikely that you're actually buying into something valuable. The biggest question you should be asking yourself is what the value of the NFT project is going to be in about 6 months from the time of launch. It's all a bit of a Wild West show right now, with projects springing up everywhere. It's very unlikely that you're going to see every project that comes out make it all the way to whatever perceived finish line that they have, as there's already more NFTs in existence than there are people in China. Whatever you do, you need to make sure that you are, again, doing your research. If the kinds of returns on investment that you're getting only include extra NFTs, then this might seem like an attractive thing right now as it adds value to your investment. But in 6 months, is anyone still going to care about the collection? Maybe they'll have abandoned the project and moved on to other things. It really is tricky, and you need to remember that you're sinking sometimes huge sums of money into what are effectively pictures of dogs and monkeys. So you need to be damn sure that there's going to be some other kind of value in the long term. Frankly, nowhere near enough people consider that when they get into NFTs, because they're all blinded by the hype. Get on a platform, NFT HUD, Dune Analytics, whatever you need to do, and do your research. It's so critical. Seriously, guys. You can thank me later, by the way. So folks, these are the kind of mistakes that have cost me quite a bit of money, and could cost you some money as well if you're not careful. Now, I hope you found this advice to be very useful and helpful in avoiding the pratfalls that so many of us have fallen into. And speaking of which, if you have maybe overpaid for the gas fees or maybe got scammed by a scammer, let us know in the comment section below how that story went down. We'd love to hear it and help other people avoid making similar mistakes. After all, it doesn't have to be a scary thing when you dip your toes into the exciting world of NFTs. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, it really helps us out. And by all means, subscribe to this channel with the bell rung for notifications as well. That way, you'll never miss out whenever I have some interesting news or advice for you that can really help you to save some money or protect your interests. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.